Updates on the possible transfers of Tapsoba and Van der Ven. Scott Munn's start date has been delayed. The Spurs women now have a new manager. And former boss Mauricio Pochettino on Harry Kane, Daniel Levy and the Spurs fans. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start with some Tottenham Hotspur women news. They finally have a new manager and they have appointed Robert Villeham, and they have stated that Robert has been appointed as the new head coach of the Spurs women. He has come out and said it's an honour to join this world-renowned football club and I'm truly motivated by both the challenge and the opportunity that comes with this role. The club has a talented group of players and I look forward to leading the team in such an exciting project. Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has provided a couple of transfer updates involving Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. He has stated that Edmund Tapsoba remains on Tottenham's list as talks are still ongoing with Bayer Leverkusen. He has always been their top target as new centre-back. Spurs are now working on both the Van der Ven and Tapsoba deals. It is now up to the club to decide who they want to sign, also based on financial package. Fabrizio Romano has also provided an update on the Pierre-Emile Højbjerg situation and his possible move to Atletico Madrid this summer. He has stated there is still no bid from Atletico Madrid, but it is true that they are interested in Højbjerg. He is considered a strong player for them. What I'm hearing at the moment is the player is keen to try a new experience. After many years at Tottenham, to try maybe a different league and a different country and a different club, but at the moment there is still no official bid. Former Tottenham Hotspur head coach, now of course current Chelsea manager, Mauricio Pochettino had his first press conference as the new Chelsea boss on Friday afternoon. He spoke about Harry Kane, he spoke about the Spurs fans and links to the club. He also refused to confirm if Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy made any contact with him over succeeding Antonio Conte before he took the Chelsea job. Pochettino said, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to say anything in one way or another. We have a very good relationship with Daniel and all of the Tottenham people. I think there is no point. We need to look forward. What I'm going to say, yes, no, or maybe. And what is it going to change? Nothing. I feel very proud about the past and so happy. You never know in football what can happen in the future. I'm here now and I'm really happy. I need to give my best and hope that all together we can create again an atmosphere and all the excitement that was in the past in this football club and try to lift trophies. That is our objective. Pochettino then went on to talk about the Spurs fans and said, I don't think that the Spurs fans will change, but what can they do? Nothing. For me, it is now about being focused on trying to do my job here and build a very good relationship with the fans here. And of course, what can I say or do if that happens? It's up to them to keep or not keep the feelings that they were feeling in the past. My feeling is that I am really happy to be here. I would say over the moon because I'm back in England. This is a massive challenge. Pochettino was then asked a question about his relationship with Harry Kane and said, I don't like to talk about players at another club, but you're talking about one of the greatest, one of the best strikers in the world. It is not fair to talk. It is not fair to say nothing. People are not stupid. Fans are not stupid. They are so clever and they know my relationship with him was always amazing. I saw him when he was young grow up and achieve all he was achieving. And of course, we have a great relationship. It has just been reported by the Daily Telegraph that Tottenham Hotspur target and Leicester City attacker Harvey Barnes is now just on the verge of signing for Newcastle United, and L'Équipe in France are stating that Inter Milan are now stepping up their interest to sign club captain Hugo Lloris this summer. Now, in the last couple of days, it has been reported that Galatasaray have offered Spurs around €9 million for Tottenham Hotspur centre-back Davinson Sanchez, and they are thinking about the offer for the Colombian international. And the players' agency has even come out and said that there is interest from Spartak Moscow at the moment, but no offer has been made as yet. It has just been reported by The Athletic that Scott Munn's start date at Tottenham Hotspur as Chief Football Officer has been delayed after a protracted exit from his role at the City Football Group. Munn had been employed as Chief Executive of City Football Group China since 2019, having previously held the same role at CFG-owned Melbourne City in his native Australia for 9 years. He had been due to start at Tottenham on the 1st of July, but that has now been delayed with no official start date scheduled as yet. Now, my thoughts on the stories in this episode. Let me start by talking about the transfer window because, of course, Fabrizio Romano has given us an update on Van der Ven and Tapsoba, and apparently now it is all about which one that they want to sign, not both of them, and how much money Spurs want to pay for one of them. In my opinion, I think the Spurs need to act quickly now and get this deal done as soon as possible because we will be travelling, the club, I say we, the club will be travelling to Australia for pre-season this time next week, if not before. I think they travel either on the Friday or the Saturday. So there is a lot to do. Postecoglou has got to make decisions as well. It will be interesting, but we do need defensive reinforcements. Definitely 1, 2, 3, actually forget 1, 2 or 3 top-class centre-backs in this transfer window. Otherwise, we will have exactly the same problems as what we had last season, shipping too many goals. Fantastic going forward. Harry Kane will bag a hatful of goals, I've no doubt. But of course, we will ship goals because the defensive line is simply not good enough. It looks like Eric Dyer will be staying, and it looks increasingly likely that Spurs are waiting around to get the Clement Longley deal done for as cheap as possible, if not on a free transfer. And it will also be interesting as well. Ange Postecoglou needs to decide in the next couple of days, certainly by the end of the week, who is going to travel on that plane. Now, of course, we saw that situation last summer and under Antonio Conte, that a number of players didn't make it on the plane because they weren't in his plans. Someone like Hugo Lloris, for instance, if he doesn't move to Inter Milan or indeed another club, it has been reported that he might have gone back to France, but Inter Milan are now interested. If he doesn't move this week, does he get on that plane? Because I feel that if he's going to leave the football club anyway this summer, that will be a place that is kind of wasted. Why take a player like Hugo Lloris if he's going to be leaving in the next couple of weeks? Why take him on the pre-season tour with you? But obviously hoping that either the Van der Ven deal or the Tapsoba deal gets done. And I still think that we are very, very light. I have been very excited during this transfer window because I always like to see the club get business done early on. We have acted in a really positive way in this transfer window so far, but it must continue. If it doesn't continue, then it will be extremely disappointing because as much as it's been good for us, it's been good for a lot of other teams around us. And, when you think of the league position where we finished 8th, teams 1st to 7th are doing the business. They are spending big money on big players, real quality, and we need to keep up. If Spurs want any chance of getting any European football next year, I think there is an awful lot to do because at the moment, without sounding negative, we are a million miles away from top 4. And that will be Tottenham's objective. That will be Tottenham's plan. I've absolutely no doubt that Daniel Levy, even though it's Postecoglou's first season, he would have been saying to Postecoglou, our target is top 4. Well, if you want to finish top 4 or anywhere near it, we need to spend big. We need to get real quality in. Give Postecoglou the tools that he needs. And it would be absolutely ideal for a couple of signings to walk through the door sometime this week before we fly to Australia. The delay of Scott Munn starting is a little bit frustrating. It must be frustrating for the football club. And of course, the Athletic report actually said that he will act as Daniel Levy's number 2 and will be Daniel Levy's eyes and ears. Their words in their report, not mine. But I am really, really baffled why Spurs have not appointed a director of football as yet. I think that they are still actively searching. Many reports from many reliable journalists have come out stating that Spurs are still actively looking for a director of football. That is another thing. If you want a director of football in, this needs to be done also as soon as possible because really the director of football should be going on the tour to Australia. to Thailand and to Singapore. So that will be another interesting situation. In my opinion, I am a little bit surprised that this wasn't done earlier because it is so important. Now, the best of luck to Robert Villaham, who has just taken over as the new head coach of the Spurs women. He takes over now from Vicky Jepson, who was the interim Spurs head coach, because, of course, last season Tottenham Hotspur sacked Rhian Skinner. Of course, Spurs women are still in the WSL, so the fixtures will be out soon, and the opening weekend of the WSL season is at the end of September. So the very, very best of luck to him. Just also wanted to talk about the ticket prices, because although Spurs did not increase general admission season ticket prices, they did increase the executive prices. Some of them, I was told by some members, it went up from 3%, 5%, 9%, some of them, and some of them even went up by about 12%. And it has been noticed, or it had been noticed on Friday afternoon by a lot of fans, a lot of angry fans, that if you're not a season ticket holder and you're a member and you go to one-off games, the prices have increased. I find that absolutely baffling because, you know, let's be fair, let's be honest and frank about it. We have probably, it's fair to say, gone backwards ever since the Champions League final. These prices should not be going up. We're not even playing European football next season. And we don't know how the transfer window is going to pan out. Why should fans be paying more money for, you know, going to see Spurs matches when the quality is probably less than what it was a couple of years ago? Yes, I get all of the stuff about inflation, etc., but the Spurs fans seem to pay more money watching Tottenham Hotspur than any other Premier League club, or most Premier League clubs. It's not right, really, in my opinion, and it's frustrating, and I get all of the people that are very angry about it. I'm sure as well that the Fan Advisory Board will be putting a lot of these things to the football club in future meetings. Of course, the board has now been announced. It was announced in the last couple of days. What really, really surprised me is so many people call for change. But when you look at the amount of people that voted for people in the Fan Advisory Board, only one person in the Spurs women season ticket holder category were nominated. So they didn't even go to a vote. They actually got in by default. And some of the other people, in some of the other categories, 9% of fans voted for somebody in the Fan Advisory Board. So that really, really did surprise me in terms of numbers. Let's move on now to talk about Mauricio Pochettino. Now, I know it upset a few people and frustrated a few people that I put up the Mauricio Pochettino press conference, his first press conference as Chelsea boss, on Friday afternoon on YouTube and audio platforms. Why did I do it? Because it's Tottenham related. If he mentions Tottenham, then I'm going to put it on the channel. Same as if Arteta mentions Tottenham, I'm going to put it on the channel. Same as if, you know, a day or two before a game, I put on the opponent's press conference because they're talking about the Tottenham match. I've always done it and always will continue to do it if I have access to the videos and audio clips to put out. If anything is Tottenham related, it goes on this channel. I know some people were frustrated that I put it on. All I would say is if you see a video that you don't like or see an audio clip that you might not like the contents, just don't press the play button, or just don't watch it, or don't go anywhere near it. Same as, you know, me quoting some of the things that he said in the press conference on tweets. Lots of people were quite angry about that. It interests me because, of course, he is a former Spurs head coach who was very nearly successful at our football club, and many people adored him. Some still do. I have certainly moved on. Ange Postecoglou is the new Spurs head coach now, and it is all about the new era at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And as soon as I heard that Pochettino had signed for Chelsea, then of course you have to cut all ties and draw a line under it. I don't like seeing him wearing those Chelsea colours. I don't like seeing him wear that Chelsea badge. And I certainly don't like hearing him say we and talking about trophies every 5 minutes like he did on that press conference. But he did speak about Harry Kane, he did speak about Daniel Levy, and he did speak about the Spurs fans. He also said, you never know in football what happens in the future. Perhaps that is his way of saying that I might be back at Spurs one day. Wow. But I tell you what, I really do understand now. There were a lot of Chelsea fans at the time when Antonio Conte took over at Spurs that were very, very upset. I completely get that now because, of course, we're so used to having Chelsea managers. You know, once they've been managing Chelsea, being successful at Chelsea, they always seem to end up at Tottenham, not the other way round. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Pochettino, but I've absolutely no doubt that he will turn Chelsea around and will be successful. He's a great manager. But from what he said in that interview, of course, he is a big admirer of Harry Kane. He didn't want to answer the question about did Daniel Levy pick up the phone to him? Did they have discussions about him being the next Spurs manager? I think we all know the answer. He didn't get the call. And you know, he didn't want to answer it because why open a can of worms that is not needed? You know, Ozzy Ardila is a very good friend of his and, of course, Spurs legend, has said on many, many occasions, and they speak on a very regular basis, he said on a number of occasions that Pochettino was waiting by the phone for the call from Spurs and he didn't get it. But as I've said, Ange Postecoglou, new era, hopefully a brand new Tottenham. Hopefully, you know, we're going through a big rebuild. Hopefully, we're going to get a couple of more signings in this week. Hopefully, there'll be a few more signings even after this week. And we have a good pre-season. From all of the training videos and from everything that Postecoglou has been saying, it is really, really impressive. I'm very impressed every single time Postecoglou opens his mouth. And I tell you what, it will be a very interesting week because I think there will be a couple of surprises. I think there will be a couple of players that don't get on that plane to Australia, Thailand and Singapore. So watch this space. And just before I go, many happy returns to Heung-min Son, who celebrates his 31st birthday today, 30th birthday if you're in South Korea. And I also wanted to wish a happy 10th birthday to Louis Beardshaw, who was 10 on the 5th of July. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.